Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Thank you so much. Today we're jumping into r/NeckbeardStories, and it's actually from NeckbeardStories. It's not from my personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads. It is a returning author. It's been a long time since we heard from user a random teacher. He wrote that reforming a neckbeard saga way back, many moons ago, you know? But he decided to come back with the update, which is good because I haven't compiled this whole thing quite yet. I can shove a parody song at the end, which we decided is a new thing, at least until I run out of parody songs. I'm pretty excited to see it through. We are live streaming this on Twitch. Come on through if you'd like. Link is in the description, but I'm gonna get some additional plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/NeckbeardStories cringe. My Journey to Reform a Neckbeard Part 6, Nesting. If you haven't seen the first 5 parts, that link is in the description. It might be links, it might be a playlist. I'm not really sure what I was doing around this time, but I do know that I am terrified to see yet another neckbeard nest. Please tell me that it's like a nice nest, suitable for children and pets to live in, and not like an actual beard nest that's just a disgusting pile of trash. I guess we'll see. Greetings all! Hi, user random teacher. I've returned to tell an unexpected story of me reforming my former but relapsing neckbeard friend, Ed. Man, it is the nest. It is the neckbeard nest, isn't it? I'll be real with you, the beard is hard to kick. You got that beard on the inside, you can't really pluck it out. It takes like a deep desire to change, either for yourself or someone else. Usually for yourself though. I honestly didn't expect to have to write this story, but recent events have called for another installment. You hate to see it, honestly. But before we get into the cast, there's a trigger warning. So let's refer to it as just self-ending, committing Minecraft as it were, and manipulation. There will be a TLDR at the end of this story if you want to nope out at any time. Boy, things are getting dark for Ed. See, the deeper you go, the deeper you go. The darker it gets. I don't like it. I hope our little boy comes out of this okay. So, the cast. OP, aka Teach, now a 25-year-old year 3 teacher in my final year of teaching. Public school systems are impossible to work within. I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think the 3rd graders would be all that bad. Don't put me in a high school class. I will fight those kids. But the 3rd graders, come on. They're kind of cute, a little bit, when they're not throwing up somewhere or picking their butts. Typical former high school nerd into anime and weightlifting when I'm not getting all the ladies and banging. No, I'm joking. Oh, I thought we were getting party demon vibes. Whoa. Oh my god, thank you for that. I felt the heat like slowly turning up in my brain. I'm like, really? I'm gonna have to crucify another OP? All right, bring it on through. Ed is a 25-year-old former but relapsing neckbeard IT manager for a massive company, all around amazing guy with a great boyfriend. He doesn't deserve this. I just want to see him cast off his shackles of beardery. Leah is the 22-year-old nerdy boyfriend of Ed. Quite feminine in his dress and how he carries himself, but is extremely loving and supporting of Ed. And that's really what counts, you know? I'm not gonna judge anybody's relationship because I don't gotta be in the damn thing, all right? James is Ed's truck driver father who is always on the road. He owns the semi that he drives and he makes great money doing it. Really, that's what Honker Donkers needs to do. I'm gonna shoot him a message, be like, hey, why don't you just buy the truck outright? Can you do that? Take out a loan? Anything's better than riding with Chris, right? Jabba is Ed's fat, sloppy, courtesan mother, and I ain't joking about that courtesan part. She's a lady of the night, hateful, spiteful, and manipulative. Wait, I thought she got the boot in the last part. I thought we were all done with her, but yeah, I guess that's how mothers be. They come back around every now and then, don't they? First, if you aren't already up to speed on the story up to this point, basically I took a journey to reform a neckbeard who is currently my best friend. I could just write it out, or you could listen to it. Masterfully narrated by the amazing Soothing Moonhorse, or the equally as amazing Cringe Lord, ReddX. I'd much rather be Cringe Lord than Soothing, honestly. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Someone was nice enough to compile most of these stories into a playlist, which can be found over here. Yeah, that was Greeny that compiled those. I recognize that username. And now that that's out of the way, let's get into the story. I'm not linking the playlist that he linked. I'm linking my own playlist, because you're on my channel, damn it. We're doing things my way. No salt, though. So, this starts in late 2021, around the holiday season, and I get a call from James asking to talk about Ed. Honestly, I wasn't sure what was going on. I knew he hadn't been in great spirits after being alone for the holidays this year, but I didn't think anything of it. Oh, bro, the holidays, the worst time to leave someone alone like this. You know, rates of self-ending go up during the holidays, so definitely think something about it. Don't dwell, you know, don't make it weird, but just acknowledge that, hey, maybe we need to, you know, send him a postcard or something like that. Ed was feeling it this year because I live in North Carolina now. James is always on the road, and Leo was taking a trip with his family, so Ed was by himself for the holidays. But I hop on the call with James, where he tells me that Ed has been reaching out to the only family that he had left in the city, Jabba. Oh, that's a terrible decision, Ed. Why are you doing this? We learned this lesson, all right? But again, moms, you know, they're always there. Jabba had recently been hospitalized because she had OD'd, and Ed was the only family that they could get in contact with. Jesus. When he got to the hospital to check on her, she laid it on extremely thick with the, "I'm so glad you came to visit me, son. I'm so sorry. I have no one left but you. You're the only light in this world." The only light in this world. That is laying it on rather thick, is it not? Quit blowing smoke, Ma. What do you want? She also told Ed that she did that to end herself, which was an extremely touchy subject for Ed. Now, Ed had a friend in middle school who did exactly that and told him that he was thinking about doing it, but Ed didn't do anything or tell anybody, and to this day, he still blames himself for that friend's death. Oof, that is a lot of baggage to carry around, honestly. And his mom probably knows this. This is exactly the button that she needs to hit in order to lure him back in, I'm pretty sure. This all made Ed extremely sensitive to self-ending, especially when he thinks that he can stop someone, no matter who they are. Honestly, at the time, I didn't think that I could really do anything for him because that was his decision to make, and he truly believed that she would come around and they might be able to be the family that he always wanted. If she didn't figure it out within the first couple decades, forget about it. I believe in holding on to hope, but at a certain point, I don't know, man. You can't keep hurting yourself on behalf of somebody else. Even your own mother. And I hate that because I got a good relationship with my family. When I see broken families, it breaks my heart. But yeah, the reality is sometimes it's not salvageable. After a few months, Ed gives me a call, sobbing that him and Leah had broken up and not knowing what to do. It takes a couple of weeks to calm him about this situation and get him back into the swing of things, but I couldn't wrap my head around why they had broken up, so I decided to give Leah a call. Jabba. One word. I already know. Leah, hey Teach, how you been? OP, honestly pretty good. So what's going on with you and Ed? He said you two broke up? Leah, well, not really. I still love him, but Jabba is just so terrible. I can't deal with her anymore. I just had to take a break from the situation. I mean, a break is different from a break up, right? So You plan on coming back or something, or only once she's out of his life? I honestly don't see myself getting this deeply involved. I'll be like, well, people make decisions, but it seems like OP is one of the helpers, you know? One of the fixers. My wife is a fixer. She hears about someone else's problem and just loads that burden up on her back. And I'm trying to teach her to just stop it. Choose your battles. Only pick the stuff that's really important. To Ed, this does seem really important, so I'm glad you were there to do that for him, OP. At the time, I didn't really know the depth of the situation, and I was shocked that the same man who was willing to throw blows at the horrid she-beast was so willing to take a break from the mean words after he basically already handled her. Women like Job, they never give up, man. She's just gonna peck you to death if you stay around that relationship. It's a good thing that she got out. Now I encourage Ed to do the same. That's the way that I would take this. OP, well, you knew exactly who she was, and you were deep in that situation when you guys were dating early on. Honestly, it's pretty selfish to dip out now when you knew you weren't strong enough to handle her. Ed is crushed right now, and that's on you, bro. I'll be real with you, I'm pretty torn about that statement. You are not obligated to stay in a relationship with anybody for any reason. The reason could be as simple as, I'm not having fun anymore. I gotta go. I just want to see the world, something like that. I've had enough bad takes on this channel that I know a bad take when I see one, and that is one of them, if I'm being real with you, all right? Leah says, did you know she moved in with Ed? OP, Nani? Baka! I didn't really say that, but I thought it would fit here. The Chris Trucker disease has spread. Leah, yeah, after she got out of the hospital, Ed said she would be staying with us for a couple weeks to figure out her next housing situation, and that was 5 months ago. Oh my God, you knew this would happen. She's a leech. That's what she's all about. Emotion vampire. And also resource vampire. Like the fat vampire from Blade. What's her name? Pearl or something like that? She's still horrible to me. And now in my own home, she's horribly messy and never showers. Has men over to the house at all times of the night. And for some reason, Ed can't seem to see exactly what she is. I don't know what changed about him, but he doesn't believe anything that I say about her to him. I just needed to get away because it looks like he chose her over me. 5 months, bro? Leah's a keeper already for putting up with it that long. But yeah, you can't save Ed from himself. Part of me does understand it's his own mother, etc., but how do you explain that through? That's a realization he's got to come to for himself. OP, I honestly had no idea, man. Sorry. How exactly did this start? Leah, all I know is she keeps saying how depressed she is and she wants to end herself and make the pain of her worthless life go away. OP, well, there's got to be a reason behind that. I'm gonna call James. Leah, he knows the situation, but he can't help either. OP, well, there might be something I can do. I hang up on Leah after a bit, and I hop on a call with James. James?
What's up, Teach? Did you need something?
OP? Do you know why Ed let Jabba move in? James?
Well, I think she really will end herself if he kicks her out.
Okay. Oh no! Nothing of value was lost! I mean, honestly, human life, etc., but come on, man. Is all this really worth hanging on to? I guess it is. She's a mother, she's a person. She might turn it around at some point, but hope is fading so fast. As a matter of fact, it's faded already. I don't know why it hasn't faded already for Ed. After hearing all this, I kind of get an idea what's going on, but I know there's nothing I can do about it at the moment because I had another month of school left. I kept in regular contact with Ed, never telling him that I knew about Jabba moving in. His mood stays stable, but I could always catch the slightest hint of sadness in his words. Well, yeah, he's probably being berated by his own mother every single day. This is not something I think I could handle. I'd be like, look, Ma, You got to get up and out. Remember when I was 18, you kicked me out of the house? Well, I'm doing the same thing. You're 50. Figure it out. Then summer hits, and rather than booking a flight back to Ohio, James just takes me back in his truck. He had a load that someone paid him to take from Michigan to Florida, and on his way back, he picked me up as well. The trip back was fine. I did get to stop at a few truck stops with him and get the full trucker experience. I mean, you're not really getting the whole trucker experience until you do some crank and buy a lot lizard, but probably don't do that. All that aside, though, we finally hit Ohio and took a good rest. First thing I do is head over to Ed's place, and it has a strangely familiar smell to it, but it was faint. I didn't even bother knocking. I just used Leah's key to get in, and a normal-looking house is waiting for me. Oh, good. Thank God for that much. Ed?
Bro, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were going to be back in town, man. You should have told me. We could have planned the week out.
OP? Well, I just decided to pop in and surprise you because you seem pretty down. I wanted to cheer you up. I don't know if I like this either, man. Don't ever pop up at my house. Use somebody else's key to let yourself in. It's a good way to catch two in the chest, one in the head. You know what I'm saying? I don't sign off on any of this. No matter how down I am, please don't show up at my house. Thanks. Best friend in the world? I don't care. Call me before you show up. Thanks. But maybe it's different between Ed and OP. What do I know? Ed says,
well, relax, bro. I need to go back to looking for my cat. It's been 3 days since I seen that butthole. I don't know what could have happened to him. Just don't go in the basement, because I'm still cleaning it.
OP? No problem, man. I'm headed out anyways. I instantly know that Jabba is living in Ed's basement, just like a real-life hut living in a cave. Ookla chuka poo poo. And he doesn't want me to know. Ed, if you're ashamed of the things that you're doing, why are you doing them? Let me just ask you that. See, that's the way I live my life. That's why you gotta just live like an open book. It's so freeing. So I wait until the nighttime to explore, and honestly, I should have just not opened the door and waited for her to come up. When I entered the basement, I was instantly hit with the stench of yeast, rotting food, cigarette smoke, and what I can only describe as death. Have you ever smelled something like really, really dead, OP? There's not a whole lot of smells on the planet like it. If it really smelled like death down there, I don't think you'd be able to smell anything else over the smell of death. The Febreze plugins at the top of the stairs did a decent job of keeping the smell trapped in the nest, but now the door was open and the smell punched everybody in its path. I headed down the stairs as each step worsened the smell and made me regret my decisions, but it was only going to get worse. Why the hell are you going down there? You gonna tell her hi? You gonna tell her that you missed her? You'd have a real heart-to-heart. There's nothing good that's gonna come of this. Just forget about it, dude. Pull me out. I looked over the side rails and saw a shirtless man leaning back in the lazy boy sleeping, and from the other side waddles a naked Jabba. Like I said, nothing good's gonna happen. I instantly knew what was happening here and started to shout, "What the f," at the entire situation, and she yells at me to get the hell out! Well, I mean, she's well within her right to do that, honestly. I started to sprint up the stairs, but I slipped on an old pizza box and tumbled all the way down. Awkward. At the bottom of the stairs, I get the full version of Jabba's new nest and just see piles of trash and clothes, used all over the place, and toys scattered throughout the room. I had stumbled into Auntie Nasty's puzzle basement. She wasn't wearing a shirt, and I cried. Oh, it's stuffed with ReddX references. I love it. Thank you so much. At the top of the stairs comes Ed, furious at me that I had broken his one rule and went into the forbidden basement. Well, I'm equally mad because you lied about what was in the basement. I thought I'd help you clean up down here, and I'm the one that should be truly offended. I don't know if you really want to lie to him, flip it on his head like that, but that's the line if you do want to do that. Ed demands that I leave, and I just go for the night because I cannot stomach that smell anymore. I head to my grandmother's house and just stay there for the next couple of days, but finally, after a week, Ed wants to speak. Okay, explain yourself, I guess. Ed.
Dude, I asked you to stay out of the basement. Why did you go down there?
Stay out of the basement? Isn't that a Goosebumps book or something like that? OP. Leah and James told me that Jabba was living there, dude, so I knew it was happening. Why did you feel like you needed to lie to me about her living there, Ed?
Because every time I tell someone, they get mad at me and try to get me to throw her out.
OP, well, have you been down there? Really, it's nobody else's business, I guess. Ed's trying to take care of his mom and do the right thing, and I totally get it, but yeah, Jabba is a scumbag, so I'm really conflicted. It goes on with no real breakthroughs happening, so I just tell him that I accept his decision and keep it pushing. That's the only way that you can go, OP. You can't force somebody to do something they don't want to do. Somehow she managed to manipulate Ed into believing that everyone was against her and wanted to self-end just because they hated her. See, she's dripping poison in his ears every single day. This ain't good. It's not a good look. I honestly found that hard to believe, but there it was, staring me in the face. After that day, I spent the next week coming up with a plan to break him of her spell, but I came up with nothing. Yeah, it's hard to fight a mother's, love? Question mark? That was when I got the idea of a tried and true intervention to make him see the truth. So I got Leah and James to head over to his house under the guise of helping him clean the basement a bit, and the smell had gotten worse. I mean, that's not really a lie. You are helping him to clean out the basement, are you not? Take that big tub of trash outside. Thankfully, Jabba is gone, so it seems like the clean will be easy, but oh, how wrong we were. The smell had fermented to such a point that it caused me to throw up. Oh, God. Maybe it really is like a dead body down there, dude. I've been to the LA morgue once in my life when I was like maybe 15 or 16 years old, and that smell has never left my brain. Yes, that is the throw-up smell. That is the smell of death. The piles had somehow absorbed the smell and was now dispersing it all throughout the house. The coomdums were in a nice pile, and the toys were still all over the place. But now that I wasn't full of adrenaline, I could notice some additional things about this room. There were bags lining the corners, all filled with rotten food. Oh, God, she's a pig! The bags were full of maggots and mice. Oh, you're killing me. And the smell just started to get worse. James and Leah couldn't take it anymore, so they head upstairs to get some bags to start. Where do you start with this? Oh! Ed?
Jesus, I didn't know her mental health had gotten this bad.
Bro, this is your house, dude. You don't check on her in the basement? OP, what are you talking about? Ed?
Well, she told me being forced to pick between some of her things makes her mental health act up and she wants to self-end. I should offer her some help.
This is all a ruse. I mean, she legitimately might be a hoarder, but if that's the case, she needs like clinical help, not a son who enables her, okay? OP, dude, she is playing you. It's just Shay all over again, but man, this time it's ruining your life. Ed?
Dude, don't start. You don't know what it's like to struggle, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh yeah, nobody knows the struggle but me. Welcome to the human experience. That's probably not the way that you should go with it, but that's my initial response. I'd have to step back, temper my words just a little bit. Everybody has struggled, Ed. What do you want to play Oppression Olympics? Let's see which one of us has struggled more. No, it's valid. No matter what you've experienced, it's valid, okay? Somehow, through a moment of divine intervention, a mouse runs across my foot and causes me to jerk my leg back. I knock over a stack of bags in the process and sadly reveal a horrible sight. There, dead as a doornail, laid Ed's cat that he was looking for. That is kismet. That is divine intervention. Now do you see, Ed?
Madara? Oh my God!
OP, dude, is that your cat? Ed?
Yeah, I didn't know he was down here, man. I swear I didn't know.
And mom just threw him away in a bag of trash, and you're still feeling like you need to do things for her, right? Yeah, God. Ed then begins to cry hysterically, and I knew that this was my time to strike. OP, this is what she brought to your home, dude. You allowed this. Now it's time to fix it. Ed starts screaming at me.
You think I wanted this to happen, dude? You aren't around. Dad's always gone. Leah left me and Mom was there. You think I wanted my goddamn cat to die? Hey, how stupid are you?
OP then responds in kind with the yelling, which probably is not the way to go, but maybe he'll hear you. Maybe. OP, then tell me exactly how all this happened in your own home. Your boyfriend left you because you allowed that troll to push him away. Your cat died because you let this troll build a horde down here. This is all the result of your own actions. Probably would have been more effective if you didn't yell it, but okay. Me and Ed then start going at it until his anger breaks and he throws a punch at me. Honestly, I kind of expected this, so I was prepared and we fought for a couple of minutes until I managed to get him pinned. OP, are you done? Ed crying again.
I never wanted any of this. I just don't have anyone left.
I mean, I get it. But it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The longer you hang on to this relationship with your mother, the more people are gonna leave you. And even your mother doesn't really give a damn about you. She's using you. So it's time to invite her to leave and invite Leah back in. ASAP. OP says about as much, and he says, you know, that's not true, man. I'm always a phone call away, and Leah loves you. Plenty of people are here for you. Finally, the rage was over, and now we were on to the healing part. Yes, first thing to do when healing, get rid of the infection. Kick that bloated mess out on the street. We spend a few more minutes on the ground before the fateful moment when our hands touched and we looked into each other's eyes and we slowly began to lean in. Pause. Nah, just kidding. We both got up and headed upstairs. Good fake out. Seeing Ed a bloody mess, Leah rushes over and they do the thing that normal couples did in that I missed you sort of moment. But we had bigger things to take care of. It was time to remove this nesting beard. That's right, excise the tumor. Ed decides to wait until Jabba is back so he can tell her to her face. Honestly, that's the biggest, manliest move I've ever seen. I would have moved her out in the middle of the night. just called the cops when she showed up at the front door and asked why all her stuff was on the lawn. Like, get out, you don't live here anymore. No squatters' rights, no nothing. Eventually, Jabba returns, and she is shocked to see everyone over. She puts on her best impression of a normal person. Ain't nobody buying this, honestly. Jabba.
Oh, hello, everyone. What brings you all over here?
Ed.
Bob, I think it's time we talked about you moving out. It's been almost half a year for what was only supposed to be a month or two. Have you thought about where you'll live?
Here we go. The ride never ends. Jabba.
What Well, it's just been so hard for me, son. You know, I've been struggling with my mental health recently. You understand if it takes me a bit to readjust.
Leah, you've been readjusting in my home for long enough. Jabba,
Well, I can understand why you would get sick of me. Everyone eventually does. I should just end it all, so I don't bother any of you anymore.
You knew it was coming. Okay, there it is. The one card she's been playing for months. Under his breath, I can hear Leah say, "So do it." And Ed slaps his arm.
Ed, so if you feel that way, maybe it's time to accept some help. Maybe us cleaning that basement will help you get better.
Oh man, don't clean it up for her. Get her out. Oh, I cleaned up all like your bed and dresser and everything. Cleaned it right onto the front lawn. Cleaned it with a bonfire. Jabba.
You know I have a bad back, son, and it's so hard to clean up. It's all been so hard and...
Ed cuts her off.
Well, what if we all help right now? We already started,
And Jabba then cuts Ed off.
You went into my room. I told you to never go down there. How dare you violate my privacy?
I mean, is she paying rent? You gotta pay rent in order to have privacy, as far as I'm concerned. There's a whole lot of yelling in this story. I don't think anybody knows how to respond to yelling with just like a normal talking voice. It works a lot better if somebody starts screaming and you stay level, you know? But Ed doesn't do that. He screams right back and says,
I found my goddamn cat down there. Madara's dead because of your garbage heap. You bring all types of men over here at all hours of the night, and you chase Leah away. We are cleaning it, and you are moving out.
all right, Ed putting on his big boy pants. There you go. I'm sure she'll only threaten to end herself like 10 or 11 more times before she's fully moved out. I was impressed that Ed managed to stand up to her that harshly. Truth being told, I didn't think that I would just be able to sit back and enjoy the show. Jabba is shocked at this point.
Son, would you just leave me with nowhere to go? I might self-end if I end up homeless again. You wouldn't want that, would you?
Don't put that on me.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby!
Ed,
There's a shelter down the road. You won't be homeless.
Leah, if you hurry, you can make it before dinner. Leah is so catty, bro. I think I remember that from the first few parts, and I sort of enjoyed that. Jabba,
Please, son, I have nowhere else to go.
Ed,
You need to leave now.
Jabba,
Fine, you bunch of bad words for gay people. See if I care.
obviously you care pretty deeply. You're just upset that you lost. It's over. Goodbye and good riddance. Jabba then goes downstairs and makes a call. About an hour later, a beat-up car pulls into the driveway, and Jabba gets in. Turns out she did have somewhere to go, at least for a while, but I'm not sure why she wanted to stay with Ed so bad. At least she left without a fight, I guess. She rolling over to her pimp's house or something like that? That's my guess. Now, that just leaves the cleaning part. So, okay, we get a shovel and a bag to retrieve what is left of Ed's cat so we can bury it. Jesus. How long had it been in the bag? I thought it was only missing for like 3 days. Ugh. After the small cat funeral, we then head into the house to assess the damage to the basement. Severe. It was far too much for 4 regular people with no equipment to handle, so we decided to hire some professional cleaners. I tell Ed we might need a hazmat team and an exterminator to get this place clean, and he doesn't believe me, saying,
We could just get some cleaner and some bug spray.
do not cheap out on a job like this, okay? You want it to be back to normal? We gotta pay to get it back to normal. So I just call the cleaner to come by, and they show up and say the same thing. Eventually, Ed caves and gets the exterminator, who tells us that the horde downstairs had attracted rats and roaches to the house, along with bed bugs, and they had been there for a while. Oh, cursed. Rats, roaches, I can handle. Bed bugs, oh, that's so nasty. The house would need to be tended, and it would take 3 days for the treatment to work, and Ed would need to replace most of his belongings. Lucky for him, with the money that Grandma left him, he still had more than enough to cover the expenses. Also, I got the amount that Ed received from his grandma wrong. Turns out he received about 500 grand, and it was being paid out in 5 payments of 125K. He was not only receiving just 125K, Jabba, however, only got about 12,000. That part was true. 500 grand, bro? All right, we live it on easy street. Ah, hook me up. Thank you, Granny. So that solves like most of the mystery about why she was there, right? She was just hoping to leech off of his money or something like that. Anyways, the extermination itself cost Ed about 2 grand, mostly due to the bed bugs. I still think that dude overcharged Ed, but I don't know anything about pest control, so what he says goes. We do have some pest control people that swing by the comment section sometimes, so let me know if he got overcharged. I'm sure OP would be interested as well. And replacing all his stuff wasn't cheap either, of course, but after the treatment was complete, we set to work on the cleaning. We got hazmat gear to handle the needles and the down there, but that was at least the worst of it. Yeah, that's pretty bad though. After 2 weeks of cleaning and a follow-up to make sure the little buggers were gone, and thankfully they were, after a month in the state and many more efforts from all of us, Ed had finally rid himself of Jabba for good. With my work done, I knew it was about time for me to head back, so I got a flight for next week. Ed starts the whole couple's I missed you thing again and goes on about how happy he is to have his kawaii prince back again. Kinda cringe, but alright. Just enjoy each other at the end of it all. Leah suggested that I get a hotel for the week, but Ed says that I could stay with him. Not in the basement. Don't put me in the basement! I should have listened to Ed, honestly, but not because the house was still dirty. Let me ask y'all what happens when a couple who's been apart for a while finally gets back together. Well, just imagine the scene from Family Guy where Peter was spending the night with Cleveland during his anniversary.
Ow, 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 ow. When's it gonna be my turn? Ow, ow.
So after that night, I kindly thank them for their offer, but I get a hotel for my remaining time in the city. Yeah, it is a nice offer, but they do need some space, right? Update on where we are right now. OP still lives in North Carolina, still teaching, but fairly certain this will be my last year as I absolutely hate working in the public school system. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. I hope you get like a private school. Do you like teaching at all? Even if you go in a completely different direction, that's fine. Follow your passion as far as I'm concerned. Ed and Leah finally ended up married and are still quite happy together to this day. They couldn't do it immediately since Leah was a student at Ohio State at the time. Ed was working there and something about inappropriate relationships from Ed's boss prevented that. But now that Ed no longer works for the university, everything was fair game. It's always nice to see a happy ending, you know? Tie it up with a little bow. They truly were meant for each other. That's gorgeous. James now owns 2 semi-trucks and has someone working for him driving one of them. See? That's the end game, bro. Eventually you get 3 semi-trucks and then you say, you know what? I don't even want to drive the truck no more. 3 of you guys go out there and just break me off at the end. Jabba got arrested for hooking again. Seeing as this was her 2nd arrest and her previous charges were revisited, she is currently awaiting trial, facing about a year in jail, last I heard. I still think that this line of work should be legal, but seriously, the karma is too delicious for me to pass up. I mean, if it wasn't getting caught for that, she'd be getting caught for some other stuff. She is a shady, shady lady. She belongs behind bars. Maybe, you know, cool out for a little bit. Maybe you kick the China White. Get yourself off the horse, if you know what I'm saying. If you dry out in jail for a little bit. I don't know. What I do know is karma. And that, my friends, concludes this hopefully last tale of my journey to reform ed. I'm honestly not sure when the next story I write will be, because for the time I'm still a teacher and the kids are still number one. Other than that, well, be nice and be great, and until next time, readers. TLDR, my former Neckbeard friend's Neckbeard mother moves in and destroys his home, causing us to have a fight, and we have to evict her. Honestly, a delicious way to wrap up the saga. I do hope that she is gone for good, but you never can tell. Legbeards, like bed bugs, have a way of just coming back around all the time. But now Ed is in a truly committed relationship with Leah, and I'm sure Leah will do her best to keep Jabba out of the way. She is just such a foul beast, not only for her surroundings, but also like manipulating everybody around her. Like, oh, if you don't let me stay here, I'm totally gonna end it. Okay, you know what? How many times can I hear this before I stop believing it? And it seems like Ed never would have stopped believing it, but luckily he has good friends around that kind of saved him from himself. We'll go ahead and end this saga like we do with most sagas these days, and we'll pull up one of them old song parodies, and I hope that you guys will enjoy. This is Butter Tendy Mountains. Boom, 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 boom. One evening as the sun went down and the magic fire was slipping, down the track came Ramtide hiking, and he said, boys, I'm not tipping. I'm headed for a land that's far away, beside the Euphoria fountains. So come with me, we'll go and see the Butter Tendy Mountains. In the Butter Tendy Mountains, there's a land that's full of coom, where the 20s grow on bushes, and you sleep until the noon, where the showers all are empty, and the sun shines on no day, and the big old titties and the anime trees, the Mountain Dew springs where St. Adelaide schemes, in the Butter Tendy Mountains. In the Butter Tendy Mountains, all the chads have tiny cocks, and the legbeards leave Osgood alone, and the hippies all boof rocks. The ReddX vids are full of cringe, and the waffles are all stomped. Oh, I'm bound to go where there ain't no hoe, where the cards don't fall, dice rolls don't blow, in the Butter Tendy Mountains. In the Butter Tendy Mountains, you never change coom socks, and the little streams of burger grease come a-trickling down the rocks. Fellow beards have to tip their hats, and the Stacys all are blind. There's a lake of barbecue and honey mussy too. You can paddle all around it with your cute waifu in the Butter Tendy Mountains. In the Butter Tendy Mountains, the friend zone's made of win, and you can Naruto run out again just as soon as you are in. Ain't no short-handled katanas, no fedoras without brims, or I'm gonna stay where you tip all day, where they hung the dope that invented soap, in the Butter Tendy Mountains. I'll see you all this coming fall in the Butter Tendy Mountains. The beard rolled up his big blue eyes and said to Ramtide friendy, I've tipped and boofed and rat-trapped too, but I ain't seen any tendy. I've fapped and coomed till my shroom is sore, and I'll be damned if I simp any more to bear the stench of some legbeard wench in the Butter Tendy Mountains. Another masterpiece from Tato Fair. Put it to bed, you know? I love ending the sagas with some parody songs. That's like the best thing ever. An ode to the one and only Ramtide, based on Big Rock Candy Mountains, that classic hobo song. Much easier to sing than the last one that we did a day or so ago. Thank God for that. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, like, comment, subscribe. Maybe share the video around if you should like. That compilation coming soon. I do promise it. Also, check out the links in the description. Plugs, playlist, podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Teespring. If you're trying to rock that merch, we did live stream this whole thing on Twitch, but I got other stuff, you know, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, etc., etc. Thank you so much for that. I'd also like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous channel members and Patreon patrons right now. Jerry much. So thank you too. Starting with our channel members, Train Boy, that one gay cop, Valley-Eyed Crane, Shiza, a tiny void, Angel Dark, Bedazzled Misery, Skylar Rain, the Fez Wearer, Rosie Rainbow, Slow Spooner Jerry, Shot Cantwell, Heaven, Set 777, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grim Strive, AJ Collins, Tooth Plushy, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Florentic Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, Phantom Danica, Organic Steve, Skylar May Morningstar, The Gypsy Barber, Fire Drake, Samantha, Death Flagship, Buy Two, Get One Hand. Heading over to Patreon, we've got Harley Owen, Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Chance the Blue Kraken, Dixie, Ellipses, Captain Cloud, Jerry Hong Kong, Deku, Esteban, Organic Steve, Beat Double, the Back Boss, Without Devil, Jerry, Thankful Forgiveness, PCB, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, a very tired Jerry, a few it, Justy Dargonian Jerry, Aaron Jerry, and Frankenberry, Ain't That a Hot Bitch Though, Assassin Pun Jerry, Bang Bang, Baby Jerry, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Bronze Kraken, Commander J Tank, Conrad Mooney, Destiny Piper, Dr. Larks, Aaron Era, Erratic Mechanic, Eastmars, Fluxer, I don't have friends, I got tendies. Rose Number Studios, Fire Drake, Gizmo Jack, Hadrian BR, Irish Pirate, Lost the Blue Marmalade of Mutiny. It's time to get it back. Ayonalo, JM Kuhn, Jerry Smith, Jerry Kitsune, the original Jerry, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Outlaw, Mother Trucker, Hong Kong, Jerry, I'm begging you, please don't take my beard. Jerry Jukebox Jerry, KJ's 9, Kira, Crewhee, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Grey on Deal, Lady Awakening, Lauren Crow, Legit Maker, Lord Jerry, leader of the Thunder Jerrys, Luke Max, Flows Race Car Driver, he was a good friend of mine. Like and subscribe, Milady Nix, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Factor, not another Jerry, but he is though. Paragon Soul, Phantom of the Pine, Jerkins and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes and Quagmires, Redwin, Rose Jerry Miller, Sarita the Lolita, Scarlet Skelvin, Sergeant Gay Cotburger of the Law, Silo Whip, Stephanie Gunner, Sign After Booster, Brilliant Tomato, the Gypsy Barber, the Littlest Who, the Witcher Fusky, this is even my final beard. Tick Jerry, trying to find another mom to get back to the real world. Vanguard Angel BC3, Viking Jerry, Wiki Tech, Seven Gargoyle or Clay, Arnold Voice, even dweebs, we can CDL train it. Maybe. A normal Jerry. Alright, Red, for you I bring Doritos, but I can't get expertise of their drag beards. I know what to do. Admiral T-Tech, Emerald, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry Zillabad, Penny Lake, Bartender Keely, Big Dead Wolf, Promise Fine Horseradish, the original different Jerry, Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Carcass, Chicago Panda, Corey Just Commissions. Wow. Oh, now. Yeah, I got that right. That's why I leave it in. Cryptides, the Flaw Jerry, the Deftitude, the Dilf Jerry, Dwarfy Dude, Five Nights at Jerry's, Get to the Doodles, also commissions open, Jerry Boo's daughter, Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, Half Slavic Jerry in the tracksuit, Heath Knot, Hydra Jerry Solman, Jace Christensen, Janitor Jerry's back from the abyss to clean up after the teenage beards. Good luck. Jeffrey, Gerald of Arabia, Jerry but with two S's and E, Jerry Springer, the results are in. You are not the neckbeard. Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry his mom has got it going on. Jerry Old Rivera, Jerry Roxers, Jerry Role Playing Game, Kid Marvelous, Lucian Lovecraft, Machia CD, maybe next time is Duchess, Mr. Gasmask, Not Viper, Not Invisible, Angel Raptor, Seldon Dark, Snom Jerry, the Snary if you didn't know, Spoonie the Rope, Spooky Scary, Jerry Ton. Hey, we're in October for reals now. Susan Beard, if anyone has one more fun, I'm taking all attendees. Yeah, you can say heck once as a treat. Thank you so much. Techno Dubs, the Copy Jerry Two Knives. Third stuff, this is purely a mercantile transaction. I mean, it is though. To Infinite Jerry and beyond, Tokyo Bird, Unkale, Vaughn, Venom Jerry, throws 2 liter Mountain Dew, grow by Neckbeard, grow. It's Jerry time, hold ReddX Morpher. Hygiene, it's Jerry time, hold ReddX Morpher. Humility, and thank you to my $1 patrons as well. Bless up to all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike, beautiful people that you are. I appreciate you. You know, I hope you'll be able to support monetarily, but if you aren't, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos, or taking a trip to the Buttertenny Mountains, I guess. I don't know. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.